I'm Lance Phillips. 1,400 calories a day beginning today. 30 pounds gone by the beginning of April. Kinger, what are you doing to make yourself better?
I'm Chris King. I'm working on my craft daily by yelling at my kids and making them run daily.
Nice.
Getting better.
Are they getting better?
They are.
Are they getting in better shape?
They are.
Are they still mad at me about that?
They are. Extremely mad.
I love it.
On several fronts.
Well, you have two options, Kinger. You can get into better shape, or you can just continue to be mad at me. Lance Phillips, Chris King with you for the Gloves Are Off. Catch us on Twitter at Gloves TV, of course on Facebook at the Gloves Newcap. They're legitimately still mad.
Oh yeah, they're fired up. It's good, yeah. It's a little lightning rod. They're really fired up about it. I said, hey, listen, I've said this stuff on TV before. We need to get in shape. We're getting there. We need to be more consistent. We're getting there.
That's good.
I think it sounds good coming from someone other than me who yells at them all day.
You had a good weekend?
Yeah, it was all right.
How'd the first game go?
First game did not go great. Might have played bad in one quarter. I thought we played well for 6 of 8 quarters.
That's good. Well, that's progress then, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, we'd like to get to 8 eventually.
The Rustlers women's volleyball team played well in, what would you say, 4 of 6 sets?
I would say 4,
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
That's where we're going to begin. Rustlers women's volleyball losing their first game of the year to the Nate Ooks. I still don't really understand what an Ook is, but that's besides the point. 3-1 in Edmonton. Lots of missed serves, lots of hitting errors, slow defense. Is this a sign of things to come for the Rustlers women's volleyball team, Kinger?
No, I think it's just a little hiccup in the road. I think this was probably coming. Josh kind of talked about it last week on the show.
Jinxie
Josh, he did this last year as well. But I don't think this is a terrible thing. I think it allows them to get refocused. They haven't been pushed that much for them to drop a game that's tight.
Right.
You could probably see coming. It's better to do it now than in 3 weeks in playoffs, obviously.
I'm not totally convinced. I mean, there's a thing to be said for playing up to the level of your competition.
Yep.
And you could make the case that the Rustlers have not had a lot of competition this year. Nate's been the team that's actually stretched them the most. The only team to take them 5 sets, the only team to beat them this far.
Yep.
I think they might need some more competition to really improve. I'm not sure. It's possible that this team is as good as they're going to get, which they're not a bad team. Don't get me wrong. They're not bad, but I'm not convinced that we won't see more of this.
The only other team I think Kings has the possibility the final weekend of league to push them once again. So if you get in your last 6 games, you get 4 really tough games heading into playoffs, I think that makes you ready for playoffs.
Sure.
Now the talent on this team, they're probably pushing each other more in practice than against most ACAC teams. So that's probably where their development's going to come.
It's got to be hard to coach a team though that doesn't really face a lot of adversity.
That's true.
But I mean, you coached a team that's 24-0.
Yeah, and that was one of the struggles we had that year is that we only had really 3 tough games during the year, and so we didn't have that experience of grinding out games. I think Coach Dyer is going to love the fact that his girls have to overcome playing poorly and bounce back and refocus.
Listen, if I know Austin, I think he's happy they lost in a way because he doesn't have to hear about this anymore, about this undefeated season, because he said on numerous occasions it doesn't matter. And this is his chance now to say, hey, we're off that, we're on to other things. He can finally get that undefeated season behind him.
Yeah. Now the focus is just on playoffs and getting to nationals. That's it.
Fair enough.
The Lloydminster Bobcats are hot, winning 4 straight games, I should say. Lance, with them having one elite top line, is that going to be sustainable heading down the stretch and into playoffs?
Ooh, tough. Listen, this team has been very good, and we had talked about them being very bad at one point, which they were. They've really changed it. I think more importantly than that top line is the play of their goaltending. Yeah. I mean, this is a team, like any team, that really requires good goaltending, but this team especially needs a goaltender to really help them out, and Bailey Birkin has been good. He's been very good. Won Defensive Player of the Week in the AJHL recently. I like what that top line of Scantlebury, Kaiser, and Walker are doing. It's very good. And Kobe Walker's playing like a man possessed right now. I mean, what's he got? 11 points in his last 5 games. So yep. He's playing at a well over a point per game clip for the recent history. I don't think that line can carry them. Not in playoffs, not against teams like Spruce Grove, not against teams like Fort Mac. They're going to need more production from the rest of this team, but they're rolling right now.
I think confidence is a big thing. You talk about Walker being on a point streak. Kaiser had 12 straight games with a point, 9 in his last 5 games. The one thing that seems to be common is the second and third lines are playing a bit better, right? They're giving them.
No, they have to.
They're giving them some
absolutely have
production. So that first line's been really good. What separates the top teams in the league from middle of the road, obviously, is having two lines that can really get the job done.
Or more. Or more than two
Or
lines.
more. But right now, with the production they're getting puts them on pace with any of the other playoff teams. So if they can maintain having that elite scoring line and the other guys chip in and do their job, I think they'll have a really good shot. 11 games left, right?
11 games left in their season. Look, they're in a good place. Can they keep up the pace they're on right now? I don't believe they can. Can they keep up a pace where they're winning more than they're losing? Absolutely. The team is playing really well. A big change from even a month ago, 2 months ago, a big change. We've seen a huge change in this team. And they're on pace right now to, they just climbed ahead of Bonnyville by 3 points. They're right on the heels of Sherwood Park.
They're moving up.
They are moving up. CCAA rankings. I'm not really sure where to start with this topic. They came out on Tuesday. The Rustlers women's volleyball team is now ranked second after being first the entire season. They're now ranked behind the Douglas Royals. Even more bizarre are the women's basketball rankings. We're going to get into this. Your Lakeland Rustlers are not in there, but the Concordia Thunder moved up a spot after losing 2 games this weekend. Kinger, are these standings right? Are these rankings right?
I don't think, and once again, I said before.
How does a team move up from losing 2 weekend games?
Listen, I've done this job before in the ranking committee. It's not a fun job to do. I don't think they're ever right. I think they're probably accurate of the week before or 2 weeks before. But I would like to talk about the volleyball first. Basketball always puts me in a hot spot when people watch this and judge me on what I say about my own team.
I'll say it then.
Let's talk about the volleyball side of things.
Let's do it quick.
ACAC and BC have dominated the CCAA in terms of national championships. The last 5 years, Lakeland, ACAC gold, Pac West silver, Pac West gold, ACAC gold, ACAC gold. It's almost always one of the West. Those 2 conferences deserve to have 2 of the top 3 teams every single ranking. And right now, our Rustlers have the best record in the nation at 17-1.
Humber's also at 15-0.
Right, but Humber's competition is a lot less than what we face in ours.
For sure.
I would argue that at the end of the year, you're going to see either our girls or Briarcrest, whoever makes it to nationals, that would be my bet, win that national championship and play against the BC team. I think it's unrealistic the way that those come out sometimes.
Okay. I need to know how Briarcrest, it's another one-loss team, is ranked 5th. They haven't moved for the last 4 weeks. They're still behind VIU and Douglas. Douglas has lost 3 times. Is this a matter of they're trying to be fair to everybody?
I think the conferences, I think it's a little bit of a jockeying when you get
Are they
the
trying
big
to be
table.
fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Stop being fair.
Yeah.
This isn't about being fair. This is about who's the better team and who isn't the better team.
Yeah.
And if we're at the point here where we've got, look at 15th ranked Red Deer, who I believe is on the men's basketball side, they're 9-6.
Right.
Look at, if you have to put a 9-6 team in the top 15 rankings, you need to ditch the top 15 rankings, and maybe we need to move to the top 10. This is bizarre. The fact that Capilano, who's 11-9, is ranked 4th, they're ranked 11th. They're 4th in the Pac West BC. They're ranked 11th in the top 15. That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me.
And to someone to just look at the standings, you have no idea what's going on. And in terms of on the women's basketball side, this year I think we have a lot of parity in our league, so it's been extremely tough to rank. Now, if you just look at the standings, when you look at the ACAC
Where's
board,
Cano? Where's Cano?
Cano is number 7 in the nation at 14-6.
And you have a better winning percentage than they do.
Correct. We've split with them twice, so we've split our games against them. But I think it's how they view them on the whole. I don't mind people don't think we're great. That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Fix it, though.
Yeah.
Fix it. Make it top 10. Stop messing around. Stop trying to make it fair for every bloody conference. Just make it the best teams. Stop trying to be fair.
I think neutral rankers need to happen as well.
Silly.
Super Bowl 52 happened. It was amazing, but once again, I was left scratching my head. I don't know what a catch or no catch is. Lance, how are they going to change this rule for 2018?
Did you cross the plane with the ball in your hand?
Yes.
Then it's a touchdown. That's it. It doesn't matter if he's a runner. It doesn't matter if he caught the ball and took 1 step. If he breaks the plane with a football, that is a catch. I don't care if he goes down on the ground with it afterwards. If he's doing this, when he crosses the plane and the ball's flipping around, okay, it's not a catch. But if he's holding it with his kung fu grip and he crosses the plane, that is a touchdown. I don't care if he goes down and it falls out of his hands when he hits the ground. It's a touchdown.
I agree.
Stop it.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone do the flipper like you did, but I agree 100%.
That's a bobble. That's a bobble.
Oh,
this is a light bobble.
Oh, you're being
This
an
is
official.
a light bobble. This is a bobble. Like, you know what I'm saying.
I do hear what you're saying, and that's one of the things that frustrates me is, okay, let's even talk about the catch in bounds. If you catch it 1-2 and you go out of bounds, as soon as you're out of bounds, that's done. I don't care if the ball's falling out of your hands afterwards. If you hit the ground, it's a fumble from the ground. Yeah, it's very frustrating to watch, and we don't know which way.
If you hit the ground, it's not a fumble. If you hit the ground with the ball in your hand, it's not a fumble.
No, I know, but just to make sure, because there's been some times where when you're crossing the plane of the goal line and the ball's coming down, if there's a bobble when it hits the ground, some of those have been called back as well.
Look, if he crosses the plane, like Zach Ertz did, that's a touchdown. It's not even. Look at going back to Jesse James when he crossed the plane, he had the ball in his hands. It's a touchdown.
Yep.
Stop with this inane rule and fix it now. It's ruining the game.
I agree, and they have to be really specific on that. And unfortunately, this year it's gone back and forth all year long. That call's been the most inconsistent thing I've seen in any sport.
I can't understand how they cannot get this right. This is the most watched professional league in the world, arguably, and they can't get this rule right. Fix it. I mean, I feel like I could go to a 5-year-old kid and he'd tell you what the deal is.
Yeah, it's funny because
cross the plane with the ball in your hands, that's a touchdown. Yeah. That's it.
Everyone thinks they know it until they rule on it, and then you're like,
it's like goalie interference in the NHL, which we're not even getting into right now, but it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, just as bad.
Nick Foles was the quarterback of the New England Patriots. He might be. The Philadelphia Eagles, who got Super Bowl MVP after really what could only be called an incredible performance after Carson Wentz went down. Am I getting the names right, King?
Yeah, you are.
Honestly, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
No, you just
after Carson Wentz went down, took over, Super Bowl MVP, leads his team to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. If you're the Eagles, are you keeping this guy or are you dealing him when his value's high?
I'm keeping him. That was the best game Nick Foles has ever played and will ever play, in my opinion, in the Super Bowl. That was almost a flawless game by both QBs. Very impressive. The problem is Wentz's ACL, we're not sure if he's going to come back or not.
So, well, look at and you can add to that he tore his LCL as well. So an ACL is a 9-month recovery with 12 months to fully ready to go.
Yep.
He tore it in December. So at minimum, he's not back until September.
Yeah, and that's pulling in Adrian Peterson, like progressing extremely fast.
I mean, today he finally has put weight on this leg. He's doing weight exercises with the brace unclasped. So he's taking it very slowly.
Yeah, very, very scary. If I was the Eagles, what I would do is I'd sit on Foles, because you're going to be getting trade offers, especially coming up to the draft. Sit on them and sit on them. The longer you hold them, the better those offers become. Now, if you get to a point where
unless he turns into hot garbage.
Right, which I don't think he will, because he was okay before. I think if you get to that point, you say, okay, you're going to give me 2 firsts. I almost have to do that to make my team better in the long run, because Wentz is the QB of the future.
Keep him. You got to keep this guy. You can't deal this guy until Wentz returns to the fold. Once Wentz returns, gone. Get what you can for especially if they're in a good place. Yeah. If the team is bad, they're bad. They might have to hold on to it. I mean, $4 million to pay him this year plus a $3 million roster bonus. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like they're paying him a ton of money. Yeah, you got to keep him while Wentz is on the shelf.
I don't think the Eagles are going to be bad. I think
they're not going to be bad. They're going to be good again. He's going to play well. He's played well he didn't have a great season last season. Was it last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the year before that, he was pretty good. Look at He's a good quarterback, and he's a guy. He's better than a lot of the starters out there, by far.
Yeah.
So keep him until Wentz is back, and deal him while he's hot.
Hey, we agree. Finally, we're getting close to spring training, and the MLB players are quite upset with the lack of free agent signings and the lack of major contracts. Lance, do the players have a right to be upset with these lack of big contracts and signings?
I can't feel bad for people making millions of dollars. I just can't. I can't. So no is my answer. I cannot feel bad for these players who are making millions and millions of dollars and who I would say have been overpaid for a long time, are now starting to fall back to reality, and they don't like it.
No, and a couple of things have been going on here. First of all, the players are in a bit of a bad deal because the MLB is making more money and the players might make less money this year. That's not good if you're the players.
It's not really good in any industry, but we're not talking about a company that's making, a company that's making $100,000 and is paying their employee $20,000. We're talking about owners that are making hundreds of millions of dollars and paying players millions of dollars.
Yeah.
These players don't live uncomfortably.
No, their life's pretty good. And I guess you're picking hairs here, but if you're looking at it, a lot of the things have to come back to like luxury tax and link the contract. Teams don't want to pay luxury tax.
Well, and rightfully so. It's 50%. If
Yeah.
you've been in luxury tax bracket for 4 seasons, I believe it is, you're paying 50%.
Yeah, Dodgers last year, $36.5 million paid.
I can't blame owners for not wanting to pay that.
Yeah, but it's part of what happened when they offered the major contracts, though, right?
100% it is.
Pujols and some of these guys getting 10-year deals, and now all the MLB owners and the GMs are like, well, that's not good value.
And the real cause of a lot of this is technology.
Yeah.
Now owners, now teams are starting to realize that analytics is allowing them to see that, I can't believe I actually am saying this, that analytics is allowing them to see that players aren't in their prime at their 30s, basically. No way. Yeah. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that a player in his late 30s wasn't as good as he was in his late 20s?
Yeah, real shocker, especially 35 plus.
So this is happening, and now they don't want to pay these guys on these big contracts, which is a fascinating thing for Josh Donaldson in the upcoming year.
Yeah, he's in an interesting spot because he's not getting paid what he wanted to get paid.
He's not going to get paid.
He's not going to get it. He wanted a 7-year deal. He's not getting it.
Albert's up on the other side. He's loaded. We got some good ones too in there. Some good stuff in there like that.
I bet you there's some Super Bowl.
There is some Super Bowl. A lot of Philly mess.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
Welcome back. You can imagine how many Super Bowl related tweets are in this Birds yap right now.
Tweet.
Half.
Okay.
More than half.
So, yeah, sorry, carry on.
I'm excited because I see my boy here on the first tweet, so I'm really excited. We got Cole Stevenson at Cole Stevenson. Okay. As Antonio Brown tweeted, one day soon, everyone will be watching the Steelers host the Lombardi Trophy. I agree, Antonio. It's happening next
Cole
year.
Stevenson is a guy I know from years ago. Okay, because it's not happening. So he does a lot of writing on the AFC East. So obviously he believes that the Steelers are not really a.
They're going to be there next year.
No chance. No chance.
And Foles could be their QB. Think about that.
This is nuts. So there's quite a few Barstool Sports in here. This one is crazy. So it's actually the zombie apocalypse in Philly. This is unbelievable. If that doesn't look like the zombie apocalypse, like nothing does. Nothing. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
All the videos from the Philly celebration I've never seen. I can only imagine what would have happened if they would have lost. It would have been terrible. The Onion, at The Onion, Super Bowl confetti made entirely from shredded concussion studies. Amazing.
It is.
Oh,
it's truth, though, is what it is.
Hey, there's
100% truth. They're still trying to hide that.
All right. Okay, so this is Josh Begley at Josh Begley. This is really fascinating. It's too long for us to play in one shot. But here's every concussion in the NFL this year. So this is worth watching. Every concussion basically runs in reverse. And it's very compelling. It's incredibly compelling to watch. And the music is very kind of somber, but I mean, you can see what happens here. Look at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable, right? So he slows it down in certain areas, speeds it up in others. I urge you to go spend 5 minutes of your life and watch this because it's really unbelievably cool.
Ugh.
It's really cool
That is
stuff.
tough to watch.
Yeah.
I'm back at The Onion. Doug Peterson informs Nick Foles he's been traded to the Browns while handing him the Lombardi Trophy. It could have happened.
100%
it could easily happen. Would you take the 4th pick for Foles?
Hey, there's mail.
I would. Straight?
Well, what happens to Deshaun Kaiser?
Gone. He gone.
He gone? He gone. You don't like Deshaun Kaiser in there?
No, not a fan.
Okay. So this is Patriots fans mood. This is, of course, another Barstool. Like, check this guy. Look at the hole in the door. Watch him. Like, what are those punches? Look at.
Those are not great punches.
Ah, what a maniac.
Got nailed.
I had a buddy, Brian Curley, who's a Patriots fan, and he had his head in his shoes the whole game, especially once it went down the stretch. I don't feel sad for them, though. Don't feel sad.
No, and I usually feel sad for the loser of a game. Like, if the Eagles had lost, I would have felt bad. But this is one of the first times I didn't actually feel bad for the loser.
No.
I like seeing greatness, and it would have been awesome to see the Patriots win a 6th. That would have been really cool.
For sure it would have.
But I didn't have as big an issue watching them lose as I would have had the Eagles lost.
Yeah, and the Eagles were better, I thought. The Eagles were better that game.
They made a couple of good plays that were better. That fumble recovery was that was a game.
Yeah,
that was a game.
Hey, this is your hotbed right here, right? College of Sports Media.
This is my alma mater.
This is where you've been.
This is where I've been.
Happy 10th anniversary to CSM. To all the students past, present, and all of our instructors, thank you. All month we'll be uploading profile videos with alumni and teachers celebrating a decade of building the future of sports broadcasting. Are we going to see a Lance Phillips video go up on here?
There's a high probability you will not. They were originally going to get some of us to do some remote video stuff, so
nice.
Produce a little video and send it into them. But I think what they've done is they've gone with people who are local to the city of Toronto, and they're having them come into the studios, the College of Sports Media studios, and they're doing them in there.
They better check your work.
Pardon me?
They better check your resume, check your work.
Yeah, it's not
It'll
impressive.
be up there. It'll be up there.
Not impressive. It was an amazing school. 2 years of my life. And it's incredible how many times I still talk to people that I worked with or went to school with. And, some of those guys and gals are succeeding, which is awesome. 2 incredible years of my life. It's amazing how, when you look over the course of your life, you have times, you think like 2 years, okay, whatever, right? Based off, you're in your 30s, but pretty important 2 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty important 2 years.
Formative 2 years.
Pardon me?
It forms your life, those 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. What am I doing?
What do you got here?
All right, what do we got? I've got, this is Tim and Sid at Tim and Sid, and Philly is literally on fire, and it is. Those are Flames.
Again, look. This is how they celebrate and get down.
No, it 100%, right? They don't mess around.
Yeah. Back to Barstool Sports. Nowhere in the Toyota Prius owner's manual does it say it can withstand a Philly celebration.
This is unbelievable.
Whose car is that?
I don't know whose car it is. But what I do, look at the ridiculousness after the fact. Somebody should stomp those guys out.
I got to say, I've been to Philly to watch the Philadelphia Phillies play, and it is an awesome city, a great city to go party in. I did not realize it's like that, though. They are over the top.
Yeah, but if you flip a car over, you can't be. How can you cheer for that?
You can, and then they're body dancing on it after. You're just wrecking people's property.
I would wreck those. If that were my car, I'd try and get it pushed over. I'd run them over. Ian Duffy. This is another one of my College of Sports Media classmates. They should do a whole season of Always Sunny based on what's happening in Philly, Minnesota tonight. It's true.
It's 100% true. Always Sunny gives you good insight to Philly.
Always Sunny's an incredible show.
It's very good. Busted coverage. The Ritz canopy has collapsed. This is the first one I saw live.
Honestly,
how many people do you think are on that?
Oh, there's
30?
got to be 20 people.
Yeah.
And there was one guy earlier that was on it who...
Solo, right?
Yeah. And you can hear obviously we have to beep out what the girl says. She's like, oh, you see that? I saw that. It's crazy. The one guy who decided to just kind of fall backwards off it, that would have spurned a whole pile of dummies doing this kind of thing. And then...
Hey, there's mail.
Well, how does that... I just don't get... How is that celebration? If my team won... I don't think I'm going to crawl up on the McDonald's sign.
Because it's a thing full of people following. It's just followers. So one guy does it, all these people are going to do it, right? Where's the Ritz-Carlton? What are they doing in all of this?
I have no idea.
Maybe some of their employees are up there.
Hopefully they're suing all those people.
Okay, this is incredible. Cespedes Family Barbecue at Cespedes Barbecue. So, talking about baseball, pace of play solution. Get pitchers who throw harder. Harder throwers means balls in the air for less time means quicker games. And under that, Like if we get guys throwing 214 miles per hour, games will definitely go much, much quicker.
I agree on that.
It's 100% true.
The pace of play is a huge issue, and it's going to happen.
214 miles.
That's a blink.
What's your solution?
I think the pitch clock comes in.
30 seconds. 30 seconds between pitches and go.
Yeah. It's got to be. You got to be right there.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
Winner, loser, winner, loser. I think we're loaded up with winners today.
Yeah, this is a rarity for us.
Is it?
Usually we're heavy on the losers.
Heavy loser?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, I will start this train off. Okay, I got a winner. I got a bunch of local winners, actually, just for that matter. So let's start with the Hillmond Hitmen. Through to the second round of the Sask Alta playoffs. Beat up on Paradise Hill, much to our director Blake's chagrin, because he's from Paradise Hill.
He's upset.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Blake. He's not even going to talk to me anymore.
3-0, right?
Can't even hear him anymore.
3-0.
They play 3-0. They play the Elk Point Elks. What a well-crafted name that is. The Elk Point Elks. Beginning Friday at 8 p.m. at the Hillmond Redden Arena.
I like it. It's better than the Elk Point Elves. I will point that out.
The which?
Elk Point Elves.
Elves?
Yeah, it's better. Elks is better than elves.
Elk Point Elks. Just someone dreamt up like an incredibly original name there.
I got a winner to start off. Philadelphia Eagles head coach Doug Peterson for being aggressive with his play calling in the Super Bowl, which is what you have to do against the Pats because you cannot let them off the hook. So he's a big winner. Eagles big winner.
You could make a case that the loser's Bill Belichick for sitting
Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler, thank you, for sitting Malcolm Butler, the guy who won them the Super Bowl a few seasons ago.
He broke the team rules though. There's more to that story that's going to come out.
I know. I'm just saying, like, on one hand, you could make him a loser. On the other hand, you can make him a winner.
That's true.
Takes those kind of nards for coaches to do that stuff, right?
Yes.
Sit one of your better players. Okay, another winner comes locally from the Lloydminster Stingrays Synchronized Swimming Club. We don't ever talk about synchronized swimming.
We do not.
We don't. And I wanted to make this point because they went to Regina recently, the Sander Ross Championship, and came back with a few ribbons. Came back with 102 of them.
Holy.
It's pretty good. And they got 6 athletes going to the Saskatchewan Winter Games coming up. Begins on February 18th.
Right.
So another good showing by one of our Lloydminster swimming clubs.
That's awesome. That's in Battleford, right? The Winter
It
Games?
is. It is.
That's not far from here. We might have to check that out.
Yeah,
we
should definitely slide down there and make it. I'll clearly go by myself because you never come to anything.
Yeah, well, if it's during the day or Sunday, I can get up there.
Sunday. I work Sundays.
I work every day.
Okay, what do you got?
Detroit Pistons, 3 straight wins since acquiring Blake Griffin. I've talked before, I'm not a huge fan of Blake Griffin, but he's still really good, and he's added an interesting piece to them. So good job on the Pistons on landing him. I think that actually will push them into playoffs.
That's interesting. They make him a threat, like a legit threat?
I think they're a legit threat. Like they could win a round, maybe 2.
He strikes me as the
Him and
kind of guy
Drummond
who's a real whiner.
Oh, yeah.
Like a big time whiner.
Yeah.
What's he, like 6'7"?
He's more than that, yeah.
So he's a big dude, and he's a big whiner.
He's a baby, but he embraces it well. He's funny when he does TV. He kind of jokes.
He's like
himself.
the kid from Duke.
Okay.
Just whines about everything.
Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen, thank you very much. Okay, I got another winner. It's the Bonnyville Pontiacs. We haven't talked about the Yaks very much recently, but this winner is the team, but it's also Rob Hunter, who is their play-by-play voice, their radio play-by-play voice. Now listen, Rob's almost got 800 games under his belt.
Holy.
He almost has 800 AJHL games, and the Pontiacs just hired Rob as their manager of business operations.
That's awesome.
So he's full-time with the team now. He carries the same kind of culture that the Bonnyville Pontiacs have. He's a great guy, and this is a win for both of them. Rob gets this great gig. He's working on his MBA, so he's going to be a fantastic asset to the team.
Right.
And the team gets a good guy who can do a lot for them on the business side. And I think I just mentioned that twice, but Rob gets a good team.
You're rewarding loyalty, which is also huge in that business, and I think that's the key of that, right? Consistency. I'm going to flip the script and go to a loser here. Cleveland Cavaliers are the loser, as their owner, Dan Gilbert, wants to sell the team. Even though the team sale doesn't mean too much with the departure of LeBron, I'm worried, does that maybe mean the Cavaliers are on the rocks? And what does it mean for that franchise if it does stay in the future? That's very scary if I was a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, which I am not.
Cleveland is in a world of hurt right now.
Yeah.
Browns, Cavs. LeBron James is not going to play a Cleveland Cavalier after this season.
Hey, at least the Indians are really good. That's the positive in Cleveland.
That is a positive. But we don't know what they're going to look like in 2018. We'd expect them to be good in 2018.
You would hope so, yeah.
But you can't guarantee they're going to be good.
That's true.
The Houston Astros are better.
Yeah. Way better.
That team's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, MLB is really shifting. We're a little off topic. MLB is shifting. There's the elites and there's the nobodies.
I feel like that's for a lot of teams though, and in a lot of different leagues.
Yeah.
You know, you see those good teams. You see it even in the college ranks. There's a big difference between some of those top teams and even some of those second, third, fourth place teams.
And they always preach parity. We want parity. We want parity.
I think parity's important.
NFL is the only league I can say where year to year, like it's pretty consistent. Like the teams can match up, and any given Sunday could beat each other.
That's fair. Okay, I got a winner. It's Haley Wickenheiser. I went off the local topics here. Haley, we haven't heard much from Haley Wickenheiser lately, but Tuesday she announced that she's going to donate her brain when she dies, of course. She's not going to do it now, but she's going to do it when she dies for concussion research and, of course, researching on CTE.
That's amazing. I'm not sure. How many females have offered up their brains?
I don't know how many females have, but she joins a list of like over 2,800 athletes and military people who are donating their brains for this type of research. And I mean, don't forget, just over a decade ago, I believe it was, she took a pretty nasty hit in a Swedish men's league game that left her with some real concussion-like symptoms. So she's probably a prime candidate for this kind of thing. Yeah. More people should do this, really.
Yeah. They should take a look at mine because there's
truthfully,
some serious black spots.
Yeah, no, for sure there are there.
From concussions.
It's true though. Like even just the casual athlete could donate their brain, right?
Yep.
I could donate mine right now, and I'd probably be in a better situation.
Yeah.
Without the brain than with it.
Yeah.
Would
just
you say?
Talking chicken is what we'd have. Yeah, I got one more winner. Actually, I got a couple more. I got one more winner. The LA Lakers, for claiming they're not going to pursue LeBron James this summer in free agency. I do not want to see them waste 25 to 32 million on LeBron James. We're terrible. It's not going to help.
You don't think LeBron James helps your team? Doesn't it help the Lakers?
It wrecks you for longer. Like right now, we're in a rebuild mode. If we take LeBron James,
who's we? The wrestlers or the Lakers?
The Lakers. I told you I work for the Lakers. Like I cheer for the Lakers. I'm clearly part of the Lakers and the Braves and the Jays. All those franchises. It's going to frustrate me if they go after someone that maybe has a couple good years left, and then we're going to be really bad for 10 years.
You think he's only got a couple of good years left?
I think he does. And this year, we talked about it statistically, he's getting worse on defensive efficiency and offensive efficiency.
Yeah, okay, fair, but he doesn't have a real strong group of guys around him this year, I don't.
That's he made the team. Like, that's going to happen anywhere. He's going to bring in his old buddies that are all aging.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, look at it. If that happens to the Lakers, done. I will put my Lakers jersey on this table, and I'm done with the Lakers.
I got one more winner I'm going to fire out at you. The Lakeland Rustlers women's basketball team for finally getting into good shape. I can't wait to go report on this team again. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have to say to me.
Hey, when you come, we'll be running sprints.
That's awesome.
That's all we'll be doing.
That's awesome.
Girls are rattled.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
We were just discussing off camera about the new meal plan that I've instituted. As I said off the top of the show, I'm taking in 1,400 calories a day right now with the anticipation I'll lose 8 to 10 pounds every week. And you said that your son, who's how old?
He's 9 months now. He's going to take that in at lunch. 2 bowls of soup, 2 pieces of bread, and he'll still be hungry.
He's a big dude too, eh?
He's a big boy. He's got some troubles moving. His head's too heavy to move. That's the problem.
The human head weighs 52 pounds in this case.
You should see this kid's head. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
Anyways.
let's do some bold predictions. Now, we hit on bold predictions before we revisited them,
Yeah, I
which
like
we're
that.
going to do again. Probably
Yes.
next week we'll revisit some more bold predictions. But we're going to put out some more bold predictions this time around.
Real bold ones.
How about you start it off?
Yeah, I'm going to start bold. Lance, contain your laughter here.
Okay.
Super Bowl 53.
Oh, you're way ahead.
Mark it down. Philadelphia Eagles,
Yep.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Eagles, Steelers.
And just to add on that,
Nope.
I'm not convinced Big Ben's the QB for the Steelers, but the Steelers will be there.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's too. You can't.
They got too many dynamic players not to be there. They were real close to being there this year.
Look at. They need somebody to fill that Ryan Shazier hole that they
Yeah,
have. That is
that
a
hurts.
big problem for them. I should have had Ryan Shazier actually in as one of my winners. Look at the guy is walking.
It's amazing.
The guy is walking again. Will he ever play football again?
No,
He's done.
He's not playing, and he was the heart to their defense.
They've got to find someone to fill that gap. Without that, there's no chance. You can't sit there and say they have a chance of getting back without a guy like him.
Just did. It's happening.
There's no
It's
way.
happening.
There's no way.
What do you
Just
got?
did.
What do you got?
Okay, well, I'll go the other way. I'll go to the Patriots. Rob Gronkowski, who has hinted at this over the last couple of days, is going to retire from NFL football by the start of next season. So he may not retire from football fully, but he will retire as an NFL player by the start of next season.
So you're saying CFL or?
No, I don't know what it'll be. He might maybe try. I don't know. I just don't see him playing in the NFL. I was going to say XFL, but the XFL doesn't start till 2020. So
Right.
yeah, no, he'll retire from football then. Let's put it that way. I won't change it from NFL. I'll change it.
Just retire.
CFL, or sorry, all of football.
Got it.
He's going to retire.
Okay, I'm gonna one up you
How
on.
confusing was that? What I just spit out there?
No, it made sense. I can probably, like I said, we need a little more caffeine in you right now to get you on like level 9.
Haven't had caffeine for a month.
Bill Belichick on the Pats will not be back to coach next year as well. I think he's going to retire here shortly in the offseason. I feel like this is the farewell song.
We did this in a
Yeah.
previous bold prediction. It might have been mine where I said that he and Tom Brady were both done after this
Correct.
year.
That is correct. You did say that. I think Brady's going to keep going. I think he's going to be done. And now that the Bill and Bill documentary came out,
Which was excellent, by the way.
Oh my goodness, it was fantastic. And then it made me think, this is it. Belichick's done. He actually kind of opened up. It looked like he had a heart. He was a real person.
He was smiling.
Yeah.
He was smiling. It looked
He
like
was
he was
nodding
actually,
awkwardly.
He looked like he actually was enjoying talking to media.
Yeah, which never happens.
By the way, I've just real quickly, Josh and I did Super Bowl prop bets, and I put in a prop bet that I figured Bill Belichick at some point would wear a sleeveless shirt. He wore that sleeveless shirt the entire game. He had tights on underneath it.
My wife talked about that nonstop. Doesn't he have any real sweaters? Why is he wearing a real sweater?
Would have been amazing if he went naked underneath it. Just the bare guns hanging out. Okay, I'm going to go over to Ontario here. Toronto FC, who were the MLS champions this past season, are going to repeat in 2018. And not only that, they will break their own single season point record of 69 points
Holy.
that they just took from, I believe it was the New York Red Bulls this year. Red Bulls had 68, and the Toronto FC had 69. That's obviously the favorite team of Gronk's, so they got 69 points this season.
Right, we saw that earlier in a tweet this year.
Listen, they just signed Gregory Vanderweel from, he's a Dutch player who's playing over in England. Great player. They've got the Atomic Ant back. They've got Michael Bradley back. I mean, they've got a good team.
The Atomic Ant, is that the best nickname I've ever heard?
It is actually, yes. Wow. Listen,
Okay.
that team did not get worse. Even without Vanderweel, they did not get worse. They got better. They got better with him.
Quickly off topic, would you say the MLS caliber of play is getting higher across
It is
the board?
definitely getting
Yeah.
higher. Look, at Vanderweel made the point that he really likes what the MLS is offering, and it's going to start pulling more players from European leagues over to North America. It's going to happen.
That's
You're going to
awesome.
see more and more of it.
That's great for the league.
It is.
So I'm going to stick with our football stuff. Matt Patricia, the new head coach of the Lions, will lead them to a sub-500 season, even with a pretty good roster.
Of course he will.
Yeah?
I don't think he's head coaching material.
I think he is. I don't think you train under
A
Belichick.
sub 500 record.
Yeah. I don't think you train under Belichick. Like, I think he's going to be a good head coach. I just think next year's not going to be a good year for him.
Is any beginning year a good year unless you're Bill Belichick?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Mike Tomlin, maybe?
Yeah, Mike Tomlin had a pretty good opening season. I feel like most coaches, though, struggle on their opening year.
Well, it's not your guys, and you
Yeah,
got to
for
get your
sure.
culture set. It's the whole thing.
Okay, I'm going to go over to the Lloydminster Bobcats. This, I feel, is pretty bold. Lloydminster Bobcats are 6th. I believe by the end of the regular season, 11 games from this point, they will be in 4th. They'll enter the playoffs as a 4th place seed. Look, they're only like 4 points behind Sherwood Park, who they play twice in those 11 games. And they are, I believe at this point, they're 8 points behind, might be 5 behind Sherwood Park, 8 behind Grand Prairie, who they play 3 times.
Ooh, big games.
3 times. Here's where it's won or lost. They play Brooks once, they play Whitecourt twice, and Spruce Grove in the next 5 games.
So you got to get some points in those top teams.
Those are top teams. They have to get some points. But I believe the Bobcats will finish 4th.
And if they finish 4th, that is home ice, is it not, in the first round?
Probably against Grand Prairie. It'll be home ice.
That's a good matchup for
Home
them.
ice against Grand Prairie. Look, you don't want to finish 6th or 7th. Like Bonneville's probably going to end up 7th. You don't want to finish 6th or 7th because it means you're going to get a Whitecourt or you're going to get Fort McMurray Oil Barons. You don't want to do that.
And that gives you a chance to get rolling into the second round if you can make it there, where a team has been kind of sitting.
Sure. I mean, the Bobcats have had good luck against Whitecourt.
Yeah.
Don't make a mistake there. But in a 7-game series, don't like it.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
Kinger wanted to do what's got you fired up. Because you have something that's got you fired up today.
A lot of things, but yeah, one specifically
Okay,
I'd like
well,
to
listen,
talk about.
I want to hear yours, but I want to hear it last because I feel like it's a real good one. And of course, when we do this, we don't really know what each other is got
Right.
on cue, right? So that's the benefit of the show. It's fully unscripted, right? So we don't read prompters, and sometimes we don't even know what each other's going to say just because that's the benefit of it, right?
Can you guys tell? Can you tell it's unscripted?
Easy to tell. It's easy to tell. Okay, listen, I'll start this off then. And what's got me fired up was after watching the Super Bowl, reading tweets, and even during the Super Bowl, reading tweets, and I said I was going to stay off of social media more this year. I haven't done it to this point, but I'm going to start doing it. People teeing off on the Patriots for cheating during Super Bowl 52. And for officials, obviously, siding with the Patriots. Look, officials don't side with these teams. They don't. And until a report comes out that the Patriots have been paying officials or paying the NFL to help them win games, that is garbage. It's garbage. And I know Kinger thinks that the officials are working for the Patriots. They don't. They don't. If you're a fan of sports, stop being such an idiot. You know that officials are there to officiate games. They're not there to side with teams. The calls go both ways. And for a lot of these people, Kinger, it's easy to hate the winner. It's easy to hate the team that wins. And I guarantee you, Kinger, if the Pittsburgh Steelers become one of the NFL's best teams over the next 5 years and go on to win 3 or 4 Super Bowls over the next 10 years, people are going to hate on the Steelers too. Stop hating on these teams. Stop blowing this up and making it something it's not. It's sports. Things happen. Stop it.
I'm with
Stop
you.
it.
I'm with you
Stop
here.
it.
Listen, you know,
Kinger, stop it.
You know I hate the Pats. And I could go on and say
But the officials aren't.
No, I agree. And that's one of the things that people don't like them because they've been good for so long.
Right.
Because they're so good. Like that's the only reason why I dislike them, because I know that they're going to be consistent even on a down year.
If they become terrible for a couple of years in a row or 3 years in a row, that is gone. Like nobody's going to say that stuff anymore.
It's very similar to the Yankees, right? As the Yankees, once they came down a little bit, I didn't really care about the Yankees.
This is the problem with social media, though, right? Is it brings out people who will say things without actually going to anyone's face and saying them. It's easy to do it, right?
Yeah, you can just troll.
Yeah,
all the
you
time.
totally can. I have no use for trolls, none. And people who troll, I just instantly delete them off I block them. I don't have time for that crap.
I hear you. I've blocked a few. All right, I'm going to go with what's got me fired up. And what's got me fired up is the shoe companies and the major money they've been throwing around, not only to NCAA athletes and coaches in terms of getting players to play for their logo, their brand in post-secondary institutions, but also now with the NBA contract, some of these details are coming out of what they're paying these guys to wear their product and run their product. So I'm going to run through a few stats. Derrick Rose, who was on the verge of being washed up, has been injured a couple times really severely, has been almost out of the league. His contract started at 2012 with Adidas. He got $12 million a year. He's still getting this.
That's nuts.
Just for playing with Adidas. $6.5 million a year in royalty fees. $4.8 million a year in appearance fees, a private jet for any Adidas function or any function that he deems fit. Then he also has his brother, who's a consultant, making $300,000 a year for Adidas, straight from Adidas, and his best friend makes $75,000 a year.
As a consultant.
As a consultant. Adidas, what are you doing? And this isn't just them, it's every major shoe company. How can you justify this? If you're throwing away that much money, why not put it into youth sports or put it into some great initiatives? Because a lot of this stuff, it makes no sense when these contracts come out.
Look, the reason they do it is because youth sports doesn't give them returns.
But that's
Derrick Rose wearing their shoes. And this is the thing that's frustrating, is it doesn't matter what company you work for, it all boils down to money. I have yet to find a company that cares about something other than their bottom line. And that's all Adidas cares about. That's all they care about. Youth sports does not give Adidas money. It does not make people go out and buy their product more. Derrick Rose wearing their shoes makes them go out and buy their product more.
It's crazy to me that Rose, a player who's on the downswing, is making $20 million a year off court.
Well, and he's had some problems off court.
Yeah, like he's had some major allegations that probably should have voided a contract, you would think.
If it doesn't void a contract, it should at least make a company stand up and say, hey, we're not going to back this guy if these are the allegations.
Yeah, I guess my concern with this is if Adidas is throwing the money here, we know they're throwing it at the NCAA, they're under FBI investigation. Where else is this money being filtered to, and how much are shoe companies actually making? That's the concerning thing.
Again, this goes to, I mean, we're talking about shoe companies and basketball shoe deals. We're not even talking about Major League Baseball deals that go on there. And we're concerned about Major League Baseball players maybe not making an extra $10 million this coming season.
Right. Yeah, they're taking a cut.
I don't know how anybody can look at that situation. Anybody can look at that situation and think, yeah, I can totally understand why players are upset here. I feel for them.
Yeah.
If you say I feel for players that aren't being paid, more than what they should be paid, just go away. Just stop.
Yeah, so now Todd Frazier gets $8 million a year instead of 12. Is his life,
any endorsements he's going to get.
Yeah, I was going to say, is his life different? His endorsements, from what I can see here, there's no reason why he's not getting $10 million a year in endorsements. And not just from shoes, but from other places, right?
Yeah, it all boils down to money. It's a frustrating thing, but that's why you and I make the big bucks, and we get endorsements from glove companies.
Yeah, gloves are off, a laptop, cup,
yeah,
you name it. Head to toe, baby.
Thanks for watching. See you in 7 days.